All right, so yesterday we did all of the heavy lifting for this topic, to be 100% honest. We did all of the heavy lifting yesterday. And so what we're going to end up doing today is just spending some time on actually practicing calculating our constant proportionality, right? 2.03, identifying your COP and comparing. When we talk about COP, can you remind me? Raise your hand. What letter did we use yesterday? What letter, Gio? No, who can help him out? What letter? Anthony?
B.
Not quite B. Not quite B. Paula?
M.
What is it? M. Not quite M either. MJ?
K.
K. This is K. Now, to Paula's point, we talked about the fact that this is super closely related to slope, which we've been using as M on Tuesday. However, we use K. And we've already named that K is y over x. Now, this is important because when we start to look at these things, K has a very intentional use. K is also, and we named this sort of again yesterday, but I really want to stamp this today, the unit rate. K is your unit rate. This becomes more important when we start to look at problems in context, which is what we'll do a lot of today. And so, we have an example of this. This wonderful image or table is 3 cell phone plans. You've got 3 cell phone plans. Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. Down below in part 1, it's going to ask us, okay, write in the equations for Plan B and Plan C, where M is the amount of time, months, and Y is the total cost in dollars. Well, wait a second. Why does it tell us to write in an equation for Plan B and Plan C, but not Plan A? Why do I not have to worry about creating the equation for Plan A? Eden? Yeah, they actually give it to us as an equation. And so for all 3 of these, you get them in a different form. And so I actually want to annotate what we're looking at. Plan A is an equation. Plan B is a table. And Plan C is a graph. I'm being extra with the annotations because we're going to jump into problem sets A and B, and you're going to be given equations, tables, and graphs. And this will line up pretty much 1-to-1 with skills. So, for Plan A, to Ian's point, they give it to us in an equation. I don't have anything extra I need to write. The only difference is they have C equals, and down below it tells us to use Y equals. And so, I'm going to change that. Y is equal to 55M. Okay, well, if Y is equal to 55M, raise your hand. What is the K value then from that equation? Shamir. It's a 55. Okay, and so K is equal to 55 here. I'm going to make this note because our K values are going to come into play a little bit later. Okay, so now we're looking at Plan B. I know that I'm going to take a Y value and divide it by an X value. We talked about this yesterday in the notes. Does it matter which pair I grab? No. I can actually use any of them. I can use 3 and 156, 9 and 468. All of them will work. The one push I will say is if there's an easy value to do or easy pair to do math with, use that. For us, I'm just going to choose the smallest numbers. And so K is going to be equal to 156 over 3. Plug that in your calculator, please. Raise your hand. What is 156 divided by 3? MJ. 52. Okay, so if K is 52 for Plan B, again, I want a raised hand. What would the equation be? What would the equation be? Gio? So we have that sort of already, right? Because we found our K value. I want to push us to what is the equation for the plan, right? For plan B, what is the full equation for the plan? I know that plan A was y equals 55m. What would the second one be? Eden? Y equals 52 what? Yeah, 52m. All I'm doing here is interchanging that k value. When we talk about direct variations, that's actually the only number we use, and so it's the only thing that's going to change. And so now, let's take a look at plan C. I have a graph, and so I need to be able to identify a coordinate point that works. And so, let's take this first point right here. Raise your hand. What is that coordinate point? Kara. Louder. 2, 100. Gotta be able to recognize our coordinate points. Also super important because I'm actually going to label this x and y. And so now I know that k is actually 100 over 2. What's 100 divided by 2? 50. And so again, I want to see a raised hand. What then is the equation for plan C if the k value is 50? Paula. One more time, just louder. Y equals 50m. There it is.
So just to clarify real quick, Y stands for what? What does the Y represent in all three plans? I'm looking for hands. Eden.
The total cost.
Okay, it's for the total cost, and the M stands for what? Raise your hand. Paula. Months.
Now, the reason that we want to know the units on both of these is because we said k is a unit rate. And so if I go down now to part 2, I need to order these from least expensive to most expensive. Okay. Well, in this case, our k values stand for what in units? Listen to that question carefully. Our k value stands for what in units? All right, well then let's get more specific with it. The 55 that we see in plan A, what's that 55 stand for? 55 what? Eden? Dollars? Dollars is part of it. Remember, a unit rate always has one unit per the other unit. And so if dollars is part of it, what's the full thing? Sorry. Months? Just months? Paula? Not quite the total cost of months. We're getting closer. We're starting to include them both. Gio? Say it again louder. This is dollars per month. And so when we think about this, all of these values are dollars per month. Okay, well, if those are the dollars per month, what's the least expensive plan? Tyrell. Plan C. How'd you know that? The lowest number. What's the next least expensive plan? Plan B. What's the most expensive plan? Plan A. And so, K is dollars per month. It's plan C, plan B, plan A. And our justification ranked K values from least to greatest. We ranked the K values from least to greatest. Are there any questions on this first example? All right, take about 10 more seconds. Make sure you got this down. When you do, flip your notes so that we can see. Still getting there. Take like 10 more seconds. Make sure you've got that stamped on the front. And then the back of our notes is honestly, as you've seen, it's just one big example. So, we've got 2 fruit stands. Our question, right, based on the information, which of the following statements best compares the cost of cherries at the 2 fruit stands? And so we're going to do something similar to what we just did, only instead of cost per month for phone plans, make sure I've got everyone. Instead of cost per month for phone plans, we're going to be looking at cost per pound for cherries. And so, Julia's fruit stand. They give us an equation. Raise your hand. What's the K value? Eden.
K value is its amount of cherries in pounds.
Yeah, I want a number. What's the number for the K value for this equation? 4.5. This is 4.5. And so that tells us, right, if I then use this with our units, at Julia's, it's $4.50 per pound. Okay. Well, now I have to do the same thing, but now with Tom's fruit stand. And again, I have a graph, and so I need to find a coordinate point. Raise your hand. What is a good coordinate point we can use from this graph? What is a good coordinate point we can use from this graph? Shamir. 35. I don't have 30 on my X though. 530. Right here. That I do have. And so again, there's the X, there's the Y. And so our K value is going to be 30 over 5. What's 30 divided by 5? 6. And so at Tom's, right, this K value tells us that we are at $6 per pound. All right. Super quick check. Where is it more expensive? Anthony.
Julia?
Julia's? Is Julia's more expensive than Tom's?
No.
Tom is more expensive. Okay. So then, since Tom's is more expensive, what 2 answers can I get rid of immediately? Since Tom is more expensive, what 2 answers can I get rid of immediately? Gio. A and B. Okay. Well, then if I look at C and D, raise your hand. What is the difference between answer C and answer D? What is the difference? Keyshawn. Yeah, we're just trying to look at the difference between these two. Okay. What's 6 minus 4.5? Sorry. 1.5. And so what answer should we choose? Keyshawn? C. All right. Any questions? All right. In that case, you got 1 minute. Get your notes glued in. Go.